Alright folks, welcome back for part 2 of, graphing ratio relations. While I was on my break, I got my lunch, some leftover tortellini that my amazing wife made with some Italian sausage in it. Really good stuff. Actually, I think it's ground sausage, but still good stuff. So, what do you need to do? You got a new problem here. I want you to pause the recording, work on this problem, see what you can come up with. Works very similar to previous problems we've done, so go ahead and pause it and see what you can get. I should add that you need to be making sure you give me good quality supporting work to support all the answers you're going to be putting out there, so make sure you're doing that for me. So this is what our problem says. Aisha is selling carnations for a school fundraiser at a cost of 2 for $5. So right there we have our very first ratio that they gave us. You can get 2 carnations for $5. Now I'm going to use that, and I'm going to make myself a table, because a table is one of the tools we've learned that we can use. Draw our line all the way across here, and I'm going to take and figure out what my other ordered pairs are, because it says it wants us to generate ordered pairs for a total of 2, 4, and 6 carnations. So I'm going to take and break this down, and now I've got my 4 sections. So I've got 2 carnations, I have 4 carnations, I have 6 carnations, and I have 8 carnations. Now I need a little more space to work, so I'm going to select all this, and I'm going to drag it down a little bit. That's good. And now I'm going to say, well, 2 times what is 4? That answer is going to be 2. So my next step, I'm going to do 5 times the same 2 is going to give me $10. Next, I'm going to say 2 times what is 6? That answer is, of course, going to be 3. So I will have 5 times 3 is going to give me $15. And finally, I have 2 times what number is going to be equal to 8? That, of course, is going to be 4. So I have 5 times what number is going to be, 5 times 4 is going to be what over here? And that's going to be 20. So now I have got my 4 ordered pairs. I've got 2 to 5, I've got 4 to 10, I've got 6 to 15, and I have 8 to 20. So we're going to go back to our computer page, and we're going to put in our answers. 2 to 5, 4 to 10, 6 to 15, and 8 to 20. And we're going to check our answers, and when we check it, everything checked out perfect. After we did that, the next thing you should have done is you should have graphed those numbers on our coordinate plane. So I'll make it a little smaller so it'll all fit. So I'm going to start graphing those points. Here's my first point. Superman runs 2, and then he flies 5, which is going to land him right there. Give us another point. Superman is next. He's going to start at the origin. He's going to run 4, and then he's going to fly 10. Next point, Superman's going to start at the origin. He's going to run 6, and he's going to fly 15. And our last point we need, start at your origin. Superman is going to run 8, and he's going to fly 20. Check our answers. All that checked well as well. We are on a great run here. Moving on to the next resource. The problem now wants us to graph and interpret ratio relationships. So, to make one batch of homemade modeling clay that can be used in arts and crafts, Sequoia mixed the ingredients shown on the table. So on the table you've got 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, 2 cups of water, and 4 drops of food coloring. Graph the ratio relationships between the number of cups of water, Y, and the number of cups of flour, X. So, we're comparing, all they're asking for is the water right here and the flour right here, for a total of 5 batches. Then describe the pattern in the relationship. So let me take just a minute. I'm going to do myself a screenshot. Oh, no, dang it. All right, the problem told us that the flour is going to represent my X value and the water is going to represent my Y value. So I could start off making a table. It's going to look something like this, where I have my X value for my flour, I have my Y value for my water, and you can do those horizontally too. And we're starting off with 4 cups of flour is equal to 2 cups of water. And from there we can make more of the graph. Now this isn't the table the textbook is going to use, but that is a good way I would start it so you can see what we're going to do. Instead, the textbook gave us this really great table, and that's the one I'm going to copy and use for them. So we're going to pause the recording, and while I have that recording paused, I want you to take and fill out this table, check your answer, and then we'll go from there. Alright, hopefully you have your answers checked. Now check the table they gave us this time is going to make showing my work really easy, because I can sit here and just say that 1 times 2, no, excuse me, we're going from 1 batch to 2 patches. Well, that's 1 times 4 was, I'm sorry, 2. To get to that, we had to multiply by 2, my bad. So 2 times 8 is 4 is going to be 8. 2 times 2, therefore, is going to end up being 4. So my second batch is going to be 4. To get to my third batch, I'm going to multiply by 3. So I've got, of course, 1 times 3 gives me my third batch. 4 times 3 gives me 12. 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. To get to my fourth batch, we're going to take and do 1 times 4 is the fourth batch. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 4 is going to be 8. And then to get down to my very last batch, I'm multiplying by 5. 1 times 5 was 5. 4 times 5 was 20. 2 times 5 is 10. And if you plug those numbers into your problem on your computer and press the check button, it would give you a green check mark telling you that you did good. Alright, now that you have got your ordered pairs found, I want you to take and graph those ordered pairs on the coordinate plane. Be sure to pause the recording while you do that. Alright, hopefully you did pause it. Now we're going to take and look and see how it ended up when I did it. So, I'm going to need some points. My first point, I'm going to start at the origin, run 4, rise 2. My second point, I'm going to start at the origin, run 8, rise 4. My third point, I'm going to start at the origin, we're going to run 12 and rise 6. My fourth point, once again, we're going to start at the origin. This time I'm going to run 16 and rise 8. And finally, my last point, starting at the origin, we're going to run 20 and rise 10, creating another linear graph, a straight graph. The x coordinates are going to increase, ranging from 4 to 20. You can see your 4 right here, your 20 right here. So, and because of that, they decided, you know what, instead of doing an x-axis where we're increasing by 1, you see here they have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. On the x-axis, they did 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 because they don't really need the odd numbers. There's no increasing by an odds along the way. It's only increasing by evens. Of course, you can check your answer. And when you check your answer, that one checked good. Let's move to the next slide. Describe the pattern in the ratio relationship. In the graph, the points appear to fall on a straight line. Each new point is 2 units up and 4 units to the right from the previous cup or point. That means that the number of cups of water increase by blank cups as the number of cups of flour increase by blank cups. You pause the recording and fill in those different boxes, please. Alright, so my cups of flour increase, because we're going to start off with the cups of water right here. So my water is my vertical. So I go from 2 to 4, from 4 to 6, from 6 to 8. So it's going to increase by 2 cups. As the cups of flour are going to increase by, it's going from 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, and so on. It's going to increase by 4 cups. We're going to check our answer, and it checks right again. Very good. Did you get 2 and 4 for that? I hope so. Moving forward, do you think that all ratio relationships will have graphs that appear to fall in a straight line? Why or why not? Well, guess we're just going to have to wait and see, won't we? If it is a ratio relationship, though, that means that each set of ratios is equivalent, and if each set of ratios is equivalent, it will indeed fall into a straight line. And let's see if our check is going to work this time. It's trying to load. We'll pause it for a moment. Unfortunately, that check did not work for me, so we're going to keep moving from here. Final resource says, graph and describe ratio relationships. One of the fastest snakes in the world is the black mamba. Sounds scary, doesn't he? The table shows the distance the black mamba can travel at its top speed. Graph the relationship between the two quantities. So, you pause the recording and you plot those points on the coordinate plane there. Alright, you can see I went ahead and did mine. I plotted it. I even learned that I can take and use rainbows of colors by selecting the down arrow and selecting what color I want each point to be. I wonder if I could change a color. So if I have that, can I change that to be, I don't know, orange? I sure can. How about that for pretty? Alright, part B. Describe the pattern. Pause the recording and work on that. So, which of the following statements best describes the pattern in the graph? A, the points do not appear in a straight line. I don't know, folks, that looks pretty straight to me. B, the points appear in a straight line. Each point is 1 unit up and 5 units right. No, it's 5 units up and 1 unit right. So B is not going to work. C, the points appear in a straight line. Each point is 5 units up and 1 unit right of the previous point. So the black mamba travels 5 meters per second. I'm thinking that's probably going to be right because your x-axis is your seconds and your y-axis is your meters. So I'm going to select that, but I'm still going to read D just to make sure. The points in a straight line, each point is 1 unit up and 1 unit right. Nope, that's not correct. C must be my correct answer. I'm going to check it, and we did good again. And with that, we have finished lesson 3 of chapter 1. Be sure to take a minute and ask any questions of me that you need answered before you start on your assignment, and then get your assignment done and turned into me on Canvas. I look forward to seeing a lot of good learning going on. Have yourself a good day.